Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our busboy bin that has European Nightcrawlers in it. Now, it has been 23 days since our last update, a little longer than I wanted to, but it should be a good update here. We should be able to add quite a bit of food, and we should keep this system going. Now, the worms are doing a great job moving through this system and reproducing. We found tons of cocoons in this system. It's been doing a fantastic job, and I'm hoping to continue that over the winter that's coming up. Right now I'm in fall. We've got some temperatures that have been down in the 40s outside. My basement drops into that mid-60s area, and it starts drying out a little bit. So we have to watch the water content a little bit more, and we have to watch the worms and the temperature of those bins to make sure they don't drop too low. Now with the European Nightcrawlers, don't have to worry about that too much. The African Nightcrawlers that I have to really worry about that because they can die when it starts getting below 60 degrees. So with that, let's update this system, get some food in there, and see how these worms are doing. All right, here we are with our system here. And as you can see, the last date was 9/18. Today is October 11th. Let's go ahead and take this top section off right here. Let's just see if we see anything on here. I'm not seeing anything right now but other than castings. I'm not seeing any worms or cocoons or anything. But it does look like there's a little bit of moisture there, but it's falling off a little bit, I think, as we get into these cooler months. So let me grab my glove and we'll start digging into this. And let's start by digging on this side with the food. Now we did our last two feedings over here. As you can see, I don't know if you can, it's kind of indented here. So I can put my hand here, but I have to move up to get over here. It's a good inch that it's fallen in right here. So that shows that they are definitely working at that food. Again, this section, actually we move this down just a little bit like that. The section down here at the bottom and the section at the top are showing that it's drying out with the gap that's there. Let's go ahead and dig in this corner right now and just see what this looks like. And you can see already lots of worms in here. And they look nice and healthy. Very active. This is a great sign. You can see, and there's also some, like this is not a fully mature worm. We've got a fully mature worm over here. Another one over here. Another smaller worm on this side right there. So we've got a variety of worm sizes, which is a great thing to see. Not seeing any cocoons, but I also see plenty of white flakes in there. As you can see, some of them fell out on top on this section right here. They're digging in right away, trying to run away from that light. Again, we've got some fresh cardboard down here at the bottom, as I typically add cardboard every time I add food. And you can just see there's lots of worms in this one as well, in this handful. They're going now through that cardboard, trying to work that apart. This is looking really, really good. Now, I had somebody ask me recently why I add cardboard every time, and the worms can live in their own castings, and that is very true. I add cardboard for two reasons. One, I like to give some extra food other than the food that I'm putting, and two, the food I add is frozen. And with it being frozen, it's cold, and I don't want that to really be touching the worm, so I add just a little bit of cardboard with it. Now, if I wanted to start harvesting soon, I probably should not be adding cardboard, and I probably should stop in this system, as it's hard to tell, but it looks like that this system is pretty well developed now with all these castings on top, although some of it's probably just the cocoa coir that I had in here initially. Now this is the part where we fed. Again, I see some paper in here, lots of worms, nice healthy worms. Just like that, look at that, nice healthy worms in here, different sizes. It means that they're still multiplying in here, and you can see them right here, a whole bunch of them in this area, which is a great sign. That shows that they're working towards that food. They're doing a great job of going through the food as well. I'm not seeing any in here yet. Looks like just cardboard. More worms. Again, more cardboard in here. And as I said, a variety of size worms. You got the mature ones and the immature ones and juveniles. And let's just see if I can get over here. Again, this system just is doing phenomenally well with these worms in it. I was really worried that they'd run or try to get out. I have not had any issues with that at all. There's been no running, no dead worms by the system. I'm not seeing tons and tons of stuff going up the sides. You can just see in here, they're all through this system as well. More cardboard over here that we added last time, and they're in the cardboard as well. They're really starting to work at that. As I think they've run out of food, they started going into the cardboard, which is another reason that I like to kind of add some cardboard. Make sure that there's always some food in the system, some fresh food for them to eat. Bedding does end up being food. You can see them. There's just a lot of them. A lot of younger ones too, actually, surprisingly. I thought there'd be more mature ones, but it seems like there's a lot of younger worms in this system. But they're all doing really well. You can see in here, you could just tons of movement. If I were to leave this here for a few seconds, you could just see movement of them all running away from the light. And as we move over to this side, we'll probably see less and less and less. Let's go ahead and dig over right over here. Actually, there's still a bunch of worms over here as well. I really thought that this wouldn't spread out as much as they went towards that food, but I'm wondering if that food ran out and they started spreading out looking for more. You can see there's a bunch of worms in this handful right here. Let's just dig one more out over here. I mean, you can see this material looks wonderful. It really does look like great material ready to use in the garden. You can just see, I mean, there's a bunch of worms right over here. Look at that. Little pile right there. Again, as I said, a little dry on the sides there, but every single handful so far has had worms in it. And this is just a great looking system. The worms look great, and it's time to add some food. So we're going to go ahead and switch sides here. I think I might have been thinking that maybe I'd just continue adding on this side and sort of build that up over there, get all the worms over there, but they seem to be just spreading out wherever they want. So I think we're going to go ahead and add some to the other side here. And what we're going to do is we're going to build this up like this. Try to get all the worms away from this side over here. And then we're going to add in a lot of food this time. I mean, they seem to be going through it no problem. And there was nothing left of that last feeding. I don't remember how much I fed, but maybe I'll see if I can find that video and post that up there while I'm getting this. Maybe I'll show it in there. I'll show how much food I put in last time. But it looked like, I think it was quite a bit, I thought, or from what I remember. I didn't watch the video, though, before I came down here. But we're going to add in quite a bit this time. So I've got my normal container over here. This is all frozen. We've got an apple core, coffee grounds. I do wish these coffee grounds were open. These are really frozen together, too. Even though I hit this pretty hard before I started this process. Got some tea grounds, a banana peel. There we go. Got more banana peels, another apple core, some broccoli, more tea leaves. I'm just trying to rip this apart a little bit. Make sure there's lots of surface area for them to work into. And right now what they should be doing on this side is they're digging down and burrowing down in there. So that way they're nowhere near this. And for my large bins, I am measuring stuff. I'm not doing that in these little bins. That's just going to be way too much work for me. More work than I really want. More tea leaves. We've got a little piece of orange there, another piece of broccoli. And we're going to add one more piece in here, I think. Some carrot and coffee grounds. And this is a pretty big feeding. Again, this is frozen solid. So even though it's been sitting out for a good 20-30 minutes, it hasn't really thawed at all because of how thick this was, I think. That's a decent sized feeding, I think. It's probably a quarter of one of those bins that I normally put in my large systems. And what we're going to do now is we are going to add some crushed crab and eggshell. Even though I do see a lot of white speckling on top, I do like adding this every time just to make sure there is enough. So I'm putting a mask on right now, so I'm going to be a little bit muffled as I grab my container that has the homemade crushed crab and eggshell in it. Just sprinkle that in. Nice and generously. What that does is that adds grit to the system for the worms and also kind of balances any pH issues. Now we're going to go ahead and cover this up. I'm not putting any paper in this time. We're just going to put in the food. We're going to go ahead and cover this up just like that. And just hopefully the worms did not fall on top of it. You know, because it is frozen. If they fall on top of it, they're probably going to get killed. But there we go. We covered that up nicely. Just kind of even this out. Actually, let's add a little bit more on this side, because this side is going to collapse down in the process of doing this. We're going to add a little bit extra on this side, kind of have it slope down. This side should collapse in. And then I'm going to take off my glove here. Again, still wearing my mask. I've got my label here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the system. You see right here, 10, 11. I'm going to put that right over here. That's good. And then we're going to put our cover back on. And there we go. We've got our air gap on the bottom and on the top there. And a little bit of air gap more on this side as well because of how puffed up it is. It's really close to the top. It's within an inch. And down here it's about 3 inches or 3.5 maybe. So with that, that's my update for this system. It's doing really, really well with these European Nightcrawlers in it. And it's been going now. Let me push this down, see if I can show the date. Since January of this year. So it's been going for almost 10 months. And it's doing a great job. The worms are doing great in here. And I think this system is probably ready to kind of be sorted out a little bit. And maybe put through the shaking machine. We'll see if we can get that up and going. So with that, I'm not going to add any moisture this time. I think the moisture content was okay. I did go back and forth on that really while I was looking at it, but I think we're going to just leave it as is, no moisture, and we'll try to check it maybe a little sooner just in case, because I am worried about the temperatures in my basement. It's warm today, but it was cold at night, so let's just, as you can see here, that is 69 degrees, or almost 70 degrees, and my basement floor is 70 degrees right now. Sorry, I know you can't see that, but I can't point it from here. But it's 70 degrees, so it's right along the same temperature as my basement and everything, so that's a good sign. And we'll go from there. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know, and please leave a comment down below. Thank you.